Hey, we're here with the Santa Cruz Heckler. This is the 29-inch front and rear. There's also a mullet option at MX, so 27.5 in the back and 29 in the front. But we're going to be talking about the 29-inch today. So, pretty stoked to get this, be able to ride it. I do want to give a thank you to Rolling H Cycles in Nampa, Idaho. They made it so I was able to get this. So, pretty rad. If you need anything Santa Cruz related, give them a call. They are not sponsoring this video at all, but they're cool. It's a cool shop. So anyways, this is the S kit, so it's Fox Performance suspension up front, 36. It's the RockShox Super Deluxe Select Plus rear shock, and then it comes with the Santa Cruz carbon bars. New to it, it's a little bit higher rise, so it's 35mm rise bars. Code R brakes. Not a big fan of Code R brakes, but that's what it comes with. SDG seat. Not a big fan of an SDG seat, but that's what it comes with. Hopefully they change the spec once more things are available, and you go back to that RockShox reverb that I really like. Comes with the Race Face ARC 30 wheels, and then to top it all off, it is the GX drivetrain. So pretty quick, we're just going to go through it real fast. 64.5 degree head tube angle in the low position. Once you get in the low position, it's a 1242mm wheelbase and a 452mm reach, and in the high it goes to like 64.8 for a head tube angle, maybe 450. I think it's 455 for the reach. This is a size medium, and then the wheelbase actually only shortens up by 1mm. I think everyone's going to probably keep it in the low. The high doesn't change too much things, but yeah. So let's keep this short, get out on the trails, and see how this thing goes. All right, we are going to start off with a quick climbing portion. Obviously, it's an e-bike. I think every e-bike rides amazing, but right away, this thing just feels really, really comfortable. I've said that about Santa Cruz bikes before. I don't know if it's my height. I do kind of have like shorter legs and a longer torso. Maybe just perfect for those size mediums from Santa Cruz, but man, comfortable bike. All right, so for climbing, I don't think I need to spend much time on it. This thing has a ton of grip. The EP8 motor is solid. Man, it's just a good, comfortable climbing e-bike with a lot of traction. So let's make the not fun part short and get to the descents and make that what this video is mostly focused on. So let's get to it. Okay, just like I always do, start with flow trail and then move over to shake and bake. And today we're gonna go over to jump trail afterwards. But yeah, man, this bike just begs to be popped and jumped. That's what I heard about on the other reviews, but you never know. Yeah, I gotta slow down for these. I'm gonna way over jump him. But yeah, this super plush while being really poppy. This is definitely the most poppy e-bike I've ever rode. Pretty dang cool, man. Super comfortable. I did set this up exactly to Santa Cruz's recommendations. Woo! I just launched that thing. It doesn't probably look like much on YouTube, but I just landed pretty far down that. Maybe the furthest I've ever had. I have to start going slower off of these jumps because I'm not used to how much this thing pops yet. I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out and start soaking them up. But yeah, this thing is just a blast. So let's get back up to the top and see how it does on shake and bake, which if you guys follow along with my channel, I'm sure you're well aware of this loop. I will say for e-bikes, it's one of the only really solid places that's e-bike legal around here that you can go get a good feel for your bike. So if the trails get boring, I'm sorry, I am gonna try to start doing some different trails, I think. Should mix it up a little bit. Let me know down in the comments down below if that sounds good to you, or if you want me to keep it kind of controlled and stick to this location. But all right, let's get to the top and have some more fun. All right, here we go. Down Shake and Bake. I do want to say, like, man, for nights like this, it's still 100 degrees out and it's almost 8 o'clock. All the e-bike haters, man, it's really nice to be able to come out here and get some decent laps in and not be feeling like you want to die. But let's get back to this bike. So, man, this thing corners well. I'm not gonna go too fast off of that because I feel like this thing would launch me. Yeah, this bike is so fun. It is, I want to say it's almost as plush as that SB1, or not SB, the 160E. Woo! Yeah, this thing is rad. I'm like not even going that fast just because this thing jumps so much. So I would say this thing's probably not going to be your fastest, hard charging, get out there and beat everyone on e-bike. But this is the e-bike that you are, if your friends have other e-bikes and you have this one, you're gonna be having probably more fun than they are. Holy cow, this is crazy. So once again, I'm gonna get back up to the top. I'm gonna do a little jump trail, and let's talk more about this rad bike. All right, here we go down Hail Mary out at Eagle Bike Park. I do want to say the spec on this bike is pretty dang good. And I like that they do Assegai tire up front, DHR2 on the rear. Man, whew. Yeah, this bike is just an absolute blast. I don't know, I would not expect to beat like any of my PRs or anything if you're into any of that, but mountain biking is supposed to be fun, and when you're spending this much money on a bike, it should be an absolute blast. So, dang, this bike is 10,304. I think it's 10,399, so 10,400 bucks right now, which when this bike came out, I think it was about 9,700 or something. And Santa Cruz has been doing some major price increases, but let's talk about that on the next run. All right, so like I was just getting into the value of this bike, and I think that Santa Cruz bikes in general, the value just really isn't there anymore. They do have that lifetime like pivot bearing replacement plan and lifetime frame, but so do other bikes that are a lot less money. So with that, value, not the best, but man, it is a really good bike, and for people that are okay with spending the money for Santa Cruz, you're gonna have an absolute blast on it and probably love this thing. So there's that. So back to the prices of this bike. The cheapest bike that you can get, which is the R kit, is $8,750. So with that, I mean, that's pretty dang expensive. I mean, that's really expensive for what comes on that bike. And then it goes all the way up to $14,250, which that, I hate that that has almost started to become normal in high-end e-bikes. And this bike is so fun. Well, let's get back off of that subject and back onto fun subjects. And this bike is so comfortable, and I would say that Santa Cruz really nailed the suspension setup on their website. So if you're not using that, you definitely should. It's really easy. It's kind of hard to find now down in there, like shock setup guide, but yeah, super dang fun. So with that, I mean, I can keep saying how fun this bike is, but who is this bike for? I think earlier I kind of led into it. I think it's for the person that values just an absolute blast. You can still go fast with this bike, but I don't think that's what this was made for. If you want to go fast on trails like this, I mean, honestly, you could have whatever you want, but on steeper stuff, that bullet is really what you're looking for. Man, the battery life on this bike is pretty dang great. It lasts so long. Like, I probably goes 3 rides without charging it. I mean, not crazy long rides, but gosh, the 720 watt hour I think is just about the perfect like battery size right now. There are some bikes out there with 900, which if you do long days, yeah, that's like really long, trying to do over 30-mile days. I've done 30 miles and still had battery left, but maybe more elevation. But anyways, 720 watt hours I think is just about perfect. Back to who this bike is for, man. If you're kind of waiting out on an e-bike that doesn't really feel quite like an e-bike, this is kind of that. It doesn't really feel like an e-bike. It's so playful and poppy and jumpy and all of that. All right, let's go over some hits on this bike. Pros. I think the geometry of this bike is super good. I really like it. The drivetrain, GX drivetrain, SRAM really nailed it on the drivetrain for I mean all of them, but e-bike specifically. I don't know why, but Shimano just does not work as good. And then the new Santa Cruz bars, super comfortable. I cannot see right now, the sun's right in my eyes, but anyways, the tire spec, and then the suspension. I know it's Fox in the front, RockShox in the back, but man, they work so dang well together. So completely impressed with how all that stuff's working on this bike. But the dropper post, it's not bad. Well, into the cons, so dropper post isn't as bad as some of the other SDGs that I've had, so it's not terrible. I can deal with it. But these brakes, SRAM Code R brakes, I mean, for 10,400 bucks, gosh, at least have some better brakes than on this thing. So I will put this in there real quick though. There was a battery latch issue that stopped Santa Cruz from being able to sell these bikes for a while. They came out with a new one that honestly I don't think is that great. The battery sticks out kind of far, when you're spending this much money, Santa Cruz should 100% make it perfect. So that is a big downside of this bike. Hopefully Santa Cruz listens to people. Hopefully people are complaining to them about it, because if they're not complaining, they're not gonna fix anything. So that's a big negative for this bike, but everything else is so good that it's really tough to really complain much. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it had useful information for you on it. And if you haven't yet, like and subscribe, like this video, comment with any questions, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel and get out and ride.